All right, so we got a bit of a tricky problem at first. I showed this in my last video, and if you gave it a try, good for you. If you got the answer, that's even better, but if you didn't, that's fine, because I'm going to go over this problem in this video, and I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. Because it can be pretty confusing, because there's a lot of stuff going on. So 5 chickens eat 4 bags of scratch in 8 days. How long does it take 11 chickens to eat 92 bags of scratch? Okay, so as I said before, there's a lot of stuff going on, so let's break it down. So what do we have? We have chickens, we have bags of scratch, and we have days, or time. So that's 3 quantities that we're relating with each other. So I hope the light bulb is going off in your head to use joint proportion. That should hopefully simplify things, and it should make us less scared of this giant number, 92, over here. But we're going to take care of that later. Now, before we do any more writing, I just want to think about this problem. Because as I said before, we have 3 quantities. We have the number of chickens, the number of bags of scratch, and time. But what use is that? How are we supposed to put that into our joint proportion formula if we don't even understand what we're doing? For instance, which one of these 3 numbers, 5, 4, 8, which one of these is supposed to go on the top? And which one of these is supposed to go on the bottom? So if you're just memorizing, you might not get it. So let's just think about it slowly. So the general strategy in these joint proportion problems is usually to break things up. So instead of trying to relate 3 quantities with each other, which can be a little difficult to do in your head, let's just focus on 2. Okay? So I want you to do that. I want you to just focus on 2 quantities first. That's our big idea. Now what I mean by that is, first, let's ignore the number of days. Okay, so let's just pretend this 8 days isn't even here. Let's just focus on chickens and bags of scratch and how they're related with each other. So if we were to increase the number of chickens, for example, let's say we doubled the number of chickens we have, then what happens to the bags of scratch? How does that change? Well, if we double the number of chickens we have, then the number of bags of scratch will also double. For example, let's say instead of 5 chickens, we had 10. If 5 chickens eat 4 bags of scratch, right? 5 chickens, 4 bags of scratch, then 10 chickens would eat 8. Right? So as we can see, as the number of chickens increases, the number of bags of scratch eaten also increases. And I hope that sounds familiar, because that's the definition of direct proportion. So, therefore, this symbol means therefore in math. Get used to it, because I'm going to use it a lot. Therefore, the number of, sorry, that's really bad. The number of chickens and bags of scratch are directly proportional. Okay, that's great. First important piece of information we found. Let's focus on another two. So this time, let's say that the number of chickens that we have stays the same, but we want to eat twice as many bags of scratch. So instead of 5 chickens eating 4 bags of scratch, let's say we want 5 chickens to eat 8 bags of scratch. Well, then how does that affect the amount of time that we need? Just think about it. 5 chickens can eat 4 bags of scratch in 8 days. How long will it take 5 chickens to eat 8 bags of scratch? Well, let's break it down again. 4 bags of scratch equals 8 days. Assuming the number of chickens stays the same, then 8 bags should take twice as long. So that would be 16 days. So as we see, assuming the number of chickens stays the same, the more bags of scratch there are, then the longer it'll take, the more time we need. Aha, there we go. So guess what? The bags of scratch, not number of chickens, the bags of scratch and the time don't know what that was. Okay, and time are directly proportional as well. So why is this important? What have we just found? Well, we found that the number of chickens and the bags of scratch are directly proportional, and we've also found that the bags of scratch and the time are directly proportional as well. So guess what? Bags of scratch is directly proportional to both the number of chickens and time. There we go. So I'm going to get another page and let me write that out once again. So if the bags of scratch is directly proportional to both the number of chickens and the time, guess what? Guess what we call that? I just covered that last video. This means the bags of scratch is, here's the new word, jointly proportional to the number of chickens and time. And by definition, this means that bags of scratch, sorry, that was horrible again, bags of scratch, that's horrible again, okay? Whatever, that's good enough. Okay, bags of scratch, no, it's not. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, bags of scratch is on top. So this fraction is constant. So that means 4 bags of scratch on top over 5 chickens and 8 days. is our constant. One, 2 cancels out, and we're left with the constant being 1 over 10. Now we have some new numbers, 11 chickens, 92 bags of scratch. So we know 1 over 10 is equal to 92 on top. We want to find this time, let's just say t days, and we have 11 chickens. Now all we need to do is isolate for t on its own, so let's just cross multiply, like so. That's what we're going to do. So 11t equals 920, so t equals 920 over 11, and I've already figured that out to be 83 and 7 over 11 days. Very nice. Now, as usual for these problems, we can even do a little bit of a quick check to see if this answer actually makes sense. So I would say, okay, 5 chickens eat 4 bags of scratch in 8 days. So 5 chickens would eat 92 bags of scratch in how many days? Well, since 92 is 23 times greater than 4, then 5 chickens would eat 92 bags of scratch in approximately 23 times 8 days. But that's 5 chickens, and since we have about twice as many chickens, well then, 10 chickens would be able to eat that many bags of scratch in half the amount of time. So 23 times 8 divided by 2 takes us to 23 times 4, which is 92. So 10 chickens would be able to eat 92 bags of scratch in 92 days. And since we have one more chicken, it should be a little less than 92. So I'm pretty satisfied with that answer. I think that checks out. I think that makes sense. So I'm satisfied with this answer. 11 chickens eat 92 bags of scratch in 83 and 7 over 11 days, approximately. So the key idea was to use joint proportion. Focus on 2 quantities first, then you can find out which number actually goes on top. Because you can imagine, if we put the wrong number on top, well then the whole answer would be incorrect.